Hey guys, this is Nitesh, and we're here with another review. This time, we're taking a look at Crystals of Time. This is a hidden object point-and-click adventure, and this game I did receive a review copy for, so keep that in mind when you hear my value judgments on this game. This was not a game that I paid for. So, let's just start off with the basic plot of this game. You play as a person whose name is mentioned once at the beginning of the game and never comes up again. Ashley Ford, that's her name. Ashley Ford, that's her name. You play as Ashley Ford on a attempt to find her missing father. She is a thief. Quote, thief. We're gonna get to that in a minute. Looking for your father brought you to this mansion and the nearby island and cave. So as you're exploring that, trying to find whatever clues you can, you find all these notes about a mad science experiment gone wrong. Now, notes as a method of portraying the plot isn't something that invariably doesn't work. You know, that's how Bloodborne portrays its plot. The thing about that is that the plot still needs to happen, and the entire setup endangers that. Ashley Ford is a thief. So, the question has to be asked, why does a professional thief need to find a key? Why does this professional thief have nothing to help her climb a brick wall? You know, these are all things that you have to do in the game in order to progress, but the setup is that she's a thief. It's not really a nitpick when one of the few plot points in the game derails the entire gameplay. When you have to ignore the plot in order to make the game possible. That's not a nitpick. That's a problem. Speaking of which, sometimes some of these puzzles are absolutely idiotic. You know, most of it just comes from not being very imaginative about the way you could use things. For example, there was one, I don't believe it's in this footage, where I couldn't get through a door because the handle was missing. Okay, for all the reasons to not be able to get through a door, the handle being missing is probably one of the dumbest. There was another case where I couldn't open a chest because the handles were missing. It's a chest. It wasn't locked. There's no reason the handles not being there should have made that impossible. But let's not dwell too much on one point here. Let's talk about the actual gameplay. It's split up into two parts. There's the just simple point-and-click adventure, which, you know, sometimes the clues are not clear. Sometimes you finish a puzzle in one area and get nothing to go on in terms of where you're supposed to go next. It's a good thing there's a hint option, because otherwise this game might not be beatable. I probably would have quit the game in the first time I played it if I didn't have a hint button telling me where to go at a few points. The other part of the gameplay is the hidden object gameplay. Basically just I Spy. And I'm gonna be honest, this gets old really fast. It gets really old because you have to keep going back to these same places over and over and doing the same hidden object game multiple times. It got to a point very quickly where it stopped being this, oh, okay, little side thing to be doing. It stopped being that and became, you really just don't want to let this game end, do you? This game is over. There's nothing else here. So, there's one thing that could have made this a bit more redeemable. The plot. I kinda let it slip already. There's not a lot of plot to this game. It's basically just the setup. And it's basically just backtracking to all sorts of rooms so you can open up a new room, which will point you to one of the rooms you've been to before, and then you have to backtrack to the new room. And the entire time, the plot goes nowhere. I frankly would have just given up with the game. But while I was considering it, I saw a bit about, the ending of the game makes it so worth it. The ending of the game is so good, it's worth sticking around just for the end of the game. So, I decided, you know what, I'll do it. I'll finish off the rest of this game. You people are liars. That ending was awful. It didn't make any of this tedium worth it. You know what? No, forget spoilers. I am going to show you what you get for beating this game. Forget spoiler. I am going to show you exactly what happens at the end of this game. Okay? I didn't pause it. That's just a static image. There's no sound. That is so disappointing. Really. You know, let's just look at this storyline as a whole. It starts with a plot point that derails the whole game. The rising action is nothing. The climax is nothing. The resolution, okay, yeah, spoiler here, but you find everyone who was missing from the mansion, including your father. You find them. And that's the only resolution you get. The cast of characters, well, there's only you. There's only you, and you have no interaction with anything or anyone. You have no character beyond your name. So, the length of the game, I know that does matter when it comes to a game's quality. It took me 3 hours to finish this game. And I'm going to be totally honest, this was not a 3-hour game. This game dragged on so long beyond whatever point it could have made. You know, there's just content in a game, and then there's padding. And this game was mostly padding, leading up to an absolute disappointment. So, with my reviews, I always talk about the value assessment. This game, you can get it on Steam for $5. This past weekend, it was on sale for $1. And I'm gonna be honest, it's not worth it. It's 3 hours, maybe one of which is actual content. And in the end, you get this. So no, I wouldn't pay $5 for this. I wouldn't pay $1 for this. It's really harsh. I got the game for free as a review copy. I feel like I paid too much because that's 3 hours that I spent working on this game that I'm not gonna get back. So, Crystals of Time, you can get it on Steam for $5. I wouldn't recommend it. This is Nitesh. Keep enjoying the videos and subscribe to help the channel and see more.